Welcome to TeamSpeak, advanced voice communication software for any platform. TeamSpeak allows groups of people to communicate and share information with anyone via the internet or through private networks. Using your Windows, Mac or Linux-based computer, all you need is a headset with microphone, and in minutes you can be chatting with others in real time, using our crystal clear voice technology.
As we enter into game number 2, there is a certain detail that one might want to point out and keep in mind here. You know, obviously HasuObs, although he's made it into the competition, the only way that he can secure safety or at least give his teammates Sherlock a chance to make it into the TSL 3 is if he wins this game. So there's not only some personal pride on the line, Chill, there's also some team pride on the line.
Right, and I guess in the comments leading up to this event, there was, I guess, the concern of collusion, where the opposite situation happened, where we had two players in the finals, and if one of them took a dive, then his teammate would make it in. It's really fortunate that we're actually in the opposite situation, where you know, he's actually playing harder to secure a position for his teammate. So game number 2. We are on McLeod's map. He has taken it to Lost Temple. Nice TVP map, especially in these positions with the Terran McLeod at the 12 o'clock location, playing against the abusive Protoss HasuObs at the 9 o'clock position. And I say abusive because really abusing that warp-in mechanic, really just stretching Terran out, taking him all across the map, and then cutting him down when he's stretched too thin.
You know, and if you took McLeod's build and you essentially put it onto this map, I think it would have been even more effective. You know, we had that super late sentry coming out by Hasu. There could be a real great window of opportunity to just kind of rush in there and get an attack on. So be curious to see if he's going to go different routes or if he's going to kind of stick to that maybe early bio aggression and go with that. Either way, we've got the barracks up. First Marine coming out to get rid of that pesky probe. Meanwhile, Gateway is down. SCV so mad at that pylon. It did not like the placement of it. He's rioting and trying to get rid of that. So we do have the cybernetics core going down as well. Now, again, we've seen him also go 3-gate robo in just about every match that has been played here. And I'm don't guess we're going to see a deviation from that.
No, my Miss Cleo powers are telling me that we will see robo into 3-gate. But second assimilator on the way. He's actually making a zealot as this angry SCV hacking down the shields on the pylon was starting to bother him just a little bit. Meanwhile, we've got McLeod dropping that reactor yet again and actually getting a second refinery here. Going to drop a factory. Ooh.
Okay. Yeah, so switching it up a little bit. Last time he went reactor on the first barrack, put down 2 more tech labs on those, had a more marauder-heavy army as a result. This time the factory does go down first. We have Zealot now going to make his way out, and of course that Stalker that usually makes it out first. Now, people rant and rave and talk about the greatness that is this little Stalker Zealot buddy, the buddy system, the Protoss buddy system, where you get them out and you really have just some like decent built-in Protoss map control. Doesn't look like Hasu's going to move out too much. Again, expect to see that robo down, and there it is, robo facility down, and that's where a majority of his scouting is going to come from. Keep those units there just in case anything crazy comes. Let my multiple observers be my eyes.
And this is something that's interesting in the format of an open tournament versus something like the TSL 3 where you have a week to prepare. We would probably see a much different game if this was a series where they had a week to prepare and, you know, McLeod could download all the HasuObs PvT replays. He'd probably have a tailored build that exploits some timing here with this consistent PvT opening that we're seeing HasuObs do. But when you just play an open tournament. Even if you recognize their name, you might not be familiar with their style or their specific build, and you just have to kind of go with your bread and butter. And I mean, the bread and butter is really working here for HasuObs in this event.
Yeah, and bread and butter is called that exact, for that reason. It is, the most basic, essential things that you can count on to win. And as long as you execute them smartly and you use every single utility and when I say that, I don't mean you should build every unit that you can use. I'm talking about in a situational scenario, having the different utility of the Protoss at your disposal is incredible. And so having these extra eyes just makes that much more the difference. Once again, we see the first observer make their way in. He's got full vision. I know everything you're producing out of. Beautiful. Now I can counter it. We're going to see the second. Oh, actually, unless I'm missing it, no second observer out quite yet. Instead, decides to get an immortal. So
Right.
Switching it up just a tad.
I think with the close positions and the close rush distance, he's a little bit more concerned about quick attacks, and also the observer serves the same purpose as the second observer. He can both see exactly what the Terran player is doing, and he can also see when the Terran player moves out. But looks like we were having, I guess, a throwback to the beta days almost, a really 1-1-1 as we saw a long time ago, which is with the Raven, the reactored barracks, and siege tanks out of the factory. Now, the thing that kind of made this strong back in the day was you could skip the siege mode and just use the power of the unsieged tanks and how quickly they attack. Now with the Raven out, the Marines able to chase away that pesky observer. And I wonder if he's going to just build up enough for a point defense drone and try to attack. But I guess it's not going to be a timely attack, because with the command center there, looks more like an expansion kind of build. And look at this Warp Prism. Ooh, Immortal drops.
Oh, yeah. Filling up with two. We really are throwing back to the beta, dude.
Yeah, this is old school,
This is just like,
man.
oh, my God. Have you seen that 2 Immortals drop? The Protoss, dude, shit is sick. And here it goes. Throwing it back and having the opportunity here. Bringing units up to the top.
God.
Oh, my God. He just ferried them up to the top and is now
What?
full-on attack to the front of his opponent. Looks like one Immortal
can
will
do
go
that?
down. Siege takes doing a ton of damage. Apparently you can, as we are going to Protoss school here. And unfortunately, this Immortal cannot get to the back line. He's going to now go after that Warp Prism. Oh my God, and these units are trapped. They've got no way out, so they'll just try to do as much damage as they possibly can. No, they won't take out that tech lab. They'll just burn it down. Only a few Marines are left standing. There are about 8 Marines, and now they'll go into the mineral line. I love how much damage this is doing, though, and the fact that these units are still alive. The Terran has sent them all the way back to the far side of this base. This Immortal, you're amazing. 5 kills, you truly are immortal. And going back in, picking off 1 Marine at a time, still doing a sick amount of damage. Finally, the siege tanks move forward, and what another great attack here by the Protoss.
Okay, I want to make sure everyone understands what just happened there. He loaded up the 2 Immortals, dropped them on the high ground, went into phasing mode, and then somehow used the Warp Prism like some sort of magic elevator and jumped in from below the cliff and then jumped out. I don't even know how, I don't even know what happened, but that's incredible, and I will be abusing that every game. So if you run into someone on the ladder, TVP against Chill, you should expect that, because I'm definitely gonna steal that. But we can see McLeod has stabilized. He's floated his expansion orbital down. It's sitting at his natural now. But meanwhile, Hasu has his natural up yet again. Looks like there was some Raven harassment, which I completely missed while I was babbling. And looks like McLeod has decided to attack his own natural orbital command. So that's pretty good.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So here comes another group moving forward. Wow, is he really going to attack? He is. Oh my God, what are you doing? Sentry's just being thrown away, but it won't matter. Zealot's moving in. He's got cash to throw away. He's going to try to take out as many siege tanks. He can reinforce those Zealots so easily, but it takes so long for those siege tanks to get reinforced. So he will throw away some low-cost units there. Well, maybe not the sentries. They were pretty expensive. They just basically were made to die. But we do see the observer now on the outskirts of the base. More siege tanks coming out. But the Terran, for this point of the game, does not have that big of an army right now. 71, I guess he does have a higher food count than his opponent, but I would guess that he would like to have a lot more out at this point, at least a few more siege tanks.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It looks like he's gearing up to attack again. He's got some auto repair SCVs. Unless he's just caught wind of a Protoss attack and he wants to be ready, but I've got to imagine he wants to move out. Production tab showing he's getting stim. That's probably going to be the trigger for when he attacks. Stim, 138, 139, 140. Ready or not, here I come as he pushes forward. A lot of Immortals in the army composition for our Protoss player. He's got a few sentries for force fields, trying to wait for that stim to wear off as there's only one medevac to heal that up. And looks like he's pushed forward to checkpoint number 1, which is the Zalnaga Watchtower, and gonna chase down these Protoss units. Protoss looks like he's not watching, now running away, putting up that Guardian Shield so he can deal with the Marine attacks, but actually a lot of value here for the Terran player. Force field's going up, but those are actually helping the Terran player as Terran just pulls back, uses that to wall off the sentries. Raven dancing in and out, taking some tickle damage away from the sentries, and looks like it was a trade for all intents and purposes. Raven gonna get pulled away. Meanwhile, Seachank's getting attacked by an Immortal here by the Zalnaga. Zealot gonna finish that off. Auto turret being dropped by the Raven, and I don't know who's in control of this battle so far.
Well, I got to say, I think the Protoss is, just simply because the unit count of the Terran has gone down significantly, 78 to 73, but only 2 siege tanks out on the field and only 1 factory to be able to reinforce those. The Protoss been doing a great job. You know, remember how well he was with the control of those Colossi. He seems to have equal level of awesome control here with these Immortals, able to really multitask them around. Now, it looks like he's going to send them down to the bottom, knowing that nothing is really going to be able to kill them unless there's like a whole blob of Marines. So as he continues to, hold on, drop ship here for Baz with the Raven as well. And it looks like he is going to try to go through the back. How smart is that? 1 Zealot up top. He's going to be able to have all that vision. He's going to get dropped on top of it. And the Protoss should be ready for this.
Yeah, with the Zealot up there, he could have warped in, but now I guess he still can, but it's not going to be as strong anymore. Auto turret dropped up there, and looks like, he actually does have a warp prism out, so he's going to be able to drop up there. He's got a sentry trying to tickle from the low ground. Zealot's charging up, force fields isolating the Marines, and yeah, they're all dead. And it looks like Protoss is going to expand to the bottom right gold base, and I really, really like this. It forces Terran to choose. Are you going to push to my natural, or are you going to go harass my bottom right? If you go bottom right, Protoss just counters and LOLs while he kills your entire main base. So really difficult for Terran to deal with this.
So those Immortals were going down. Dude, you Mortals are so smart. So yeah, moving out to the middle, taking out those rocks rather quickly. I love that as well. It's also not likely that we're going to see the Terran go for that point, and the Marines are going to step forward, move out, try to get some sort of advantage here, baiting their opponent into the siege tanks, but it's not going to happen. Medevacs, what are you doing out there? Extending themselves way out. Again, now we have 5 siege tanks out on the field. There is an additional factory able to reinforce now. And take a look at the army count. It's 118 to 115 in the food supply. The Terran's going to see those probes transferring over, and he's going to have a great idea on what's going over here. How soon are we going to have Storm? It looks like it's so almost done, and the Protoss needs it badly.
Yeah, we've got Terran pushing forward yet again. Storm just about to complete. It's at 98, 100. He's got 10 more seconds. Terran getting a lot of value. Meanwhile, there's a Warp Prism in the Terran's main, but nothing coming out of it yet. Is it in phasing mode? Psystorm finishes. There's a whiff on the first Psystorm, but that's basically like a warning shot, causing Terran to flee, tail between his legs. He knows he doesn't want to deal with that storm. 4 Seachanks pushing forward from the gold base, sieging up. And look at this, he's doing it yet again. He's got that High Templar on the high ground. Khydarian Amulet is not complete, so he can't do the warp in and LOL. But he is warping Zealots into the main base of Terran, getting killed pretty quickly there. Terran has position on the natural of HasuObs, and this is a bit of an uncomfortable position for HasuObs at 122 supply. Meanwhile, the Terran McLeod at 150 supply.
Wow, so okay, all the SCVs now transferring over, and this is very interesting because we also have the Terran expanding across positions from where he is at, and there happens to be a pylon just down below. I don't believe that the pylon has vision of it, but hold on, we've got a ferry up to the top of the Protoss base as a medevac will load up. A few zealots here to try to take these guys out. He will take a few out, but still 3 Marines remain up in that base. Some more zealots and a few more units being warped up. Now, one thing about the Protoss army is they are very low in health. Those Immortals are beat up. They got Band-Aids and gauze. We've also got a bunch of Marauders making their way down here, and so they could be able to do some damage here to this gold. We do have some photon cannons being warped in right now, and Baz is actually going to go to the side. He stims up thinking, I'm going to go in and get this Nexus. Here we go. Oh, wait, there's nothing there, so no.
Oh my god, look at 3 o'clock.
What?
It is not a good idea to expand next to a pylon, and this is why. That's the patented High Templar, LOL. 9 kills, Mentor, no big deal. He'll just sit back here behind the minerals.
Oh, he's going to drop down 2 mules to try to get the repair on, and look at that. We've almost got the planetary done. Planetary gets to LOL a little bit. Now, one thing that Protoss really needs to be worried about is this leapfrogging siege tanks that's coming forward. We got a lot of... Oh my god, that EMP just chewed all the energy of those Templar away, and now the Terran is moving forward. They might be able to take out the Nexus at this natural expansion. These High Templars are absolutely useless right now, and there is a ton of siege damage being done. Finally, one gets warped in. A storm does get thrown down, but the Protoss army just getting ripped apart by this siege support in the back. More storms being dropped down. They're going to try to move forward, and do they have enough forces? Archon's trying to move forward, but no, they are forced to move back. And I cannot believe this. The Terran might be able to finish it right here. Another big storm here on this Terran army. Can they reinforce? Can he come back from this?
Oh my god, that last storm really cutting up the Terran army. A lot of it is very, very weak. Medevac's low on energy, but I mean, Protoss has nothing left. Big storm, gonna clean that up, but Terran is moving forward with the majority of his siege tanks. He's actually unsieged his support tanks yet again, moving in with the brunt of his army, and then he's got the support down below. Supplies showing 107 for Terran. Meanwhile, Protoss at 79, but he's still got the gold base well secured, and he's got a Stalker at 3 o'clock, killing everything. So that sucks for Terran, but I think it's not going to matter as he's pushing forward. He's going to clean out the main base. I believe Protoss still warping in a lot of units. He's at 90 supply, so he can get a lot of value. Terran, it's not over. He's got to be careful with the majority of his armies. Some of his units being unpowered. I'd like to see a Dark Templar warped in, and yes, there's a Dark Templar going to work harassing the Terran army.
Yeah, Dark Templar goes in, it's taking out those siege tanks. There is a scan on the outside, but the DT's just outside. Finally, he gets scanned and gets taken down. And the main base is disintegrating right in front of the Protoss eyes. He does have a few units in the back. DT tower is going to go down as well. And these very, very hurt medevacs will continue to heal up these units. And there's just simply not enough. We don't have a whole lot of units streaming in here, but look at this. How come we haven't seen GG yet? Well, we do have this gold base down here. The problem is what exactly are you going to warp in? You do have your HT, your Templar Archives, still 4 warp gates up. Do have the robotics facility, but it's going to go down as well. There's not a whole lot of income here for the Protoss, but if he can continue those storms up, get those DTs in, I don't know. I think the Terrans got this
Look, at the counter attack at 12 o'clock. He's actually completely killed everything. I don't know how the wheels came off so quickly from McLeod, but he's at 31 harvesters, and if you look at 3 o'clock, wow, he's not mining. You look at 12 o'clock, he's not mining. So I think the conclusion we can arrive at is he's not mining. His minerals are at 0. Goose egg. Literally 0 minerals. Meanwhile, Protoss at 100 minerals. Another storm gonna cut it. Terran was not watching, completely killed. His main base is now in a lot of pressure, and he's not mining. I think Protoss has completed the impossible and may be able to come back. Terran's entire army is now moving towards 6 o'clock, but there's a lot of cannons there. I believe there was a High Templar. No. Oh my god. So
yeah, unit, let's look at the unit counting station. 11 Marauders, 3 medevacs, 6 Marines, and we do have this medevac drop heading on over. 3 medevacs filled with a bunch of stuff. Now, one of those medevacs is incredibly low, and let's see if that one gets hit by cannons. He might decide to just put up. No, he's going to drop down before he moves in. Very smart move. But the army for the Protoss Only 8 Zealots, 1 DT, 1 Stalker, 1 Sentry, and 3 HT. Here comes another force here. How will these cannons come into play? Will these gateways go down? Cannons will be focus fired right away. They're going to soften up some damage. He needs some huge storms right here, but no, he doesn't have his High Templar archives anymore. And so here they come. No orbitals with scan. So the DT, oh my God, the DT is going to win the freaking game.
Yeah, loading into the medevacs to get the hell out of there. Meanwhile, he does have an orbital. It's at 3 o'clock. He's got to land it. He's got to get his army back to 3 o'clock so that he can begin mining again. And I just don't think it's going to happen. Meanwhile, trying to abuse on the high ground here. Protoss has bounced all the way back. Medevacs flying into 3 o'clock. There's nothing to hit them. High Templar walking right underneath. Not going to feed back. Oh, does not feed back.
Be careful.
So, but I really don't think Terran has enough here. He's moving back to try to defend his planetary fortress. Looks like he's got control of it as he moves his 3 SCVs back. Here goes Protoss yet again, putting a storm, killing a few units there. And this is a really, really strange situation. Protoss moving forward yet again with the Zealots, trying to deal some damage, killing some Marauders. There's only 2 Marauders left on the map. Psystorm going off, not dealing a whole bunch of damage there. And this is just really interesting to watch. Planetary Fortress getting 2 big shots on the army there, bringing the Zealot down. But I think that's it. I don't think Terran can do anything.
Right now, the income for the Terran is about half of, well, it's basically about what you'd expect at the start of the game. So we have come full circle, ladies and gentlemen. We have more gateways out here. Hasu has been able to successfully relocate his base. And, you know, here comes a really rough decision. He is going to choose to expand right here versus make a bunch of units and push. And considering what was going on here, can the Terran reestablish a base? That is the big question that everyone is waiting to have answered. Here comes this Terran army once again. They can move into the mineral line, be just out. Oh my God, here comes the High Templar. He's going to drop a storm on, and that will stop the mining once again. Oh, SCV genocide, as we see these Stalkers hug the back, and I love that about the Stalkers, that they can just sit outside a range and laugh and just constantly throw down damage. And this is not looking good for the Terran. I thought for a moment as he made his way into the Protoss base and obliterated everything that it was going to be game over. But it looks to me as if we might see a Protoss victory here. Wow.
Yeah, Protoss beginning the long route to tech back up the tech tree. Terran moving in. He knows this is all in. Trying to isolate the High Templar. They immediately warp into an Archon, and the Terran player forced to run away. Terran at 25 minerals, and I don't know what he can do to get more. He's floating his orbital back to his natural, but there's already a Zealot over there. He's going to have to go to the island, and that's a long way away. And McLeod realizes it, calling GG, and wow. HasuObs really, really getting value out of his units there, making some smart decisions to take what should have been a sure loss.
Chill. If that gold base was not up, game over. Baz would have won it, hands down. That gold was so huge.
Even the pylon at 3 o'clock, I'd even argue if that single pylon wasn't there, because he warped in 2 Zealots that shut down the mining for a long time. Then he warped in the High Templar, which killed all the SCVs. And then as the game progressed, when that became the only mining base for Terran, guess where all the units were warping into? That pylon. So I've never seen a pylon win a game like that, but Hero Pylon, MVP.
Some real sick play coming out here. And guys, don't worry, we're going to be back with game 3 in just a moment. Can Baz bring it back in his favor? He's holding on to a thread, which is his life, not only to stay and possibly win that last spot for a TSL number 8 qualifier, but HasuObs, if he wins this, he's going to give his teammate a chance at making it into the very prestigious TSL 3. So a whole lot can happen. Baz must win the next one to stay alive. HasuObs could shut him down in the 3rd game, but it's a best of 5. Anything can happen. Don't go away after this short break. When we return, game 3 and possibly 4 and 5 coming up next year for the TeamSpeak TeamLiquid.net Open number 15. Don't go away.